Ne laisse pas ton odeur imprégner mes draps. Et si tu m'abandonnes, je suis pas celle que tu crois. Aucun cabron ne m'a touché. À part toi, caballero, personne ne m'a touché. La cocaïne a pris ma famille. Je suis une clandestina à Miami. La cocaïne a pris ma famille. Je suis une clandestina à Miami.
J'ai le moral au sol, j'ai le karma au sol. Déçu de la vie comme une femme enceinte d'un viol. Prends soin de toi, parce que je n'ai pas su le faire. Je vais me resservir un verre, puis un deuxième. Je ne respecte pas les thèmes, je ne respecte pas les règles. Je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes. Maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles. Maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes. Prends soin de toi, parce que je n'ai pas su le faire. Je vais me resservir un verre, puis un deuxième. Je ne respecte pas les thèmes, je ne respecte pas les règles. Je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes. Maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, je voulais pas que tu pas, je suis dans le sale, raconte pas ton dos, je suis pas ostéopathe, j'ai perdu le nord, j'ai fait tout ce que maman voulait pas que je fasse, et je m'endors sur une ou deux, trois liasses, sur une ou deux, trois tasses, et je pourrais juste te le montrer, je pourrais pas te le dire, moi, j'ai tellement peur de celui que je suis en train de devenir, et je m'en bats les couilles de l'eau qui dort, je me méfie des impôts, si tu connais pas toute ta famille, c'est que t'es encore pauvre. Prends soin de toi, parce que je n'ai pas su le faire, je vais me resservir un verre, puis un deuxième, je ne respecte pas les thèmes, je ne respecte pas les règles, je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes. Prends soin de toi, parce que je n'ai pas su le faire, je vais me resservir un verre, puis un deuxième, je ne respecte pas les thèmes, je ne respecte pas les règles, je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, je voulais pas que tu t'en ailles, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes, maintenant je ne veux pas que tu reviennes.
Hey, welcome everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the English stream. Today is Wednesday. It's a very hard word to say. Wednesday. It's more difficult for me. I need to practice more because we did the stream every Wednesday, so it's very hard to pronounce. The idea for this stream is just practice English, try to communicate by chat and talking English and practice technical English. So if you can speak in English, you can write me in the chat in Spanish and I will translate the message to English. So don't worry, you can use Google Translate too. Don't worry about it. The idea is to learn together and try to be better with English step by step, you know? No, bit a bit. In Argentina we say poco a poco, but in English you can say, I think, bit a bit. So it's step by step, paso a paso. So, if you want, we can start coding. Like you know, we are doing this project. The project is about Lost on phone, that you can post any kind of lost or phone when you found something in the street, like a wallet. You say, oh, I found a wallet in the street. I will pick up and I will post in the Martin page lost, so the people can contact me via WhatsApp and recover their wallet, you know? That is the idea of the project. So we are doing some stuff about it. Like the last stream, we made a like button and the dislike. But when we do that, we have a problem, you know, because we have a logged user, you know. I will slow down the music. Slow down the music? No, slow down is like the slow, but I don't know how to say volume down the music. I think you can correct me if you want. I don't speak English very well. I'm learning too, so if you say, sorry, if you hear I say something wrong, you can correct me in the chat. But this is not a very good word. Correct me. You understand me. I try to do my best. So the problem that we have here in this one is, as you can see, we have 0 likes here in this post, you know, in this lost. If we click in this like button, like we do right now, we can see the message of the backend that says, okay, you published your like well, but here we don't have the refresh, you know, about this like. We need to see 1 like here, you know, and that is because we are doing this logic just in the front end and we don't have any refresh of the page and anything. But if we refresh the page manually, we just click the button, refresh page. Now we can see the like, that we did it before. But the idea, we need to find a way to do this, when we will dislike this post, we click again this one, and this remove the like. We have a wrong message here. We refresh this page, and now we have 0 likes. This is remove the record from the database, from the likes table. So now we don't have any likes. What do you think? You have any idea that we can do this thing? The way we can fix this problem about refresh? Do you know any way to do that? In the front end, we are using Next.js, and the backend we're using Node.js with Express, SQLize, Docker, and MySQL. If you have any idea about what we can do to make this happen, you can tell me, and we will try this. Or I have another idea. I will wait for you. Let's go put some music.
Regarde-moi dans les yeux et je deviens amnésique. Je crois que ton corps me rappelle des souvenirs d'Amérique. Bébé, là j'ai envie de faire le temps, fais-moi oublier le temps. Bébé, là j'ai envie de faire le temps, fais-moi oublier le temps. Angela, appelle-moi ce soir et je démarre la soirée.
Okay, you don't have any idea? The chat is really quiet today. So, okay. I will propose you to do this in a cool way, because we have a page here that have all the components, and the post item from here. We have the likes. I think we have the likes here. Perfect. We have the likes here, and we have the like button, and we have the task here. Refresh page, quantity of like when the user click the like button. So let's go move this ticket to doing column, and when we click this icon button, we have this handle like method. We can control click here to go this way, and after that we have the like button, and after that we have the like. Perfect. As you know, or maybe not, we have we are using right here React query. If we use React query here, we search for query, implemented this, and component have some in the up, so in the index we have this one, we have this use query do the fetch in our home, to bring us our post. So you fetch here, you go to the URL server and go to the endpoint post / page. We pass it the page number, and we can fetch more data. Like click here, So this query revalidate. This query has a very cool thing that you can revalidate the data or invalidate. So when you do that, your query says, okay, you want to revalidate this data or invalidate this data. Okay, we'll refresh this data. It's like you want to refresh that data. So let's go search for example. Retry, okay. We have to search about this revalidate example. I think which I don't know what this page is. Query invalidate, no revalidate, sorry, invalidate. Let's go close these ones. And I will check out the headphones because I'm waiting for someone in the ring with bells. Okay, that is query validation is waiting for queries to become stale before they are fetched again in our work, especially when you know for a fact that a query data is outdated because of something the user has done. For that purpose, the query client has an invalidate queries method that lets your intelligence mark query as stale and potentially refresh them too. This means we can revalidate all the data, all the query client data, or we can just invalidate one of these bad queries, that we say. In this case, we have query called by this key. The key in this case, in our case, is post because we are fetching post, so we call it post in this case. So we can query validate this post, So we have an example right here, and this is how we can use, import use query and use query client from create query, get query client from the context, and this is the context is query clients, and after that we use the method that the docs says, call it invalidate queries with the key. In this case is to do, but in our case is post. So we can do this in the different ways, like just invalidate that query and fetch a new data, or after invalidate we can okay, and that is the same, you can do this way, but you can do this way too. Is okay, use this query and refresh the data in this key, and to do in using this method, fetch to-do list, and fetch to-do list bring us the new to-dos, and this will work too. And we have another third method that is this way. This way we can use query, and we have an array here that we say, okay, let's go to do, and in this to do, we will send the page param with value 1 and run this function, fetch to-do list. So in this case we will try to refetch this in our post item, and here is the we import right here on the top. After that we have get query client from the context, and we have this one here. We can call it right here, and we will call this method invalidate query. So we fetch all the data just when we have a sources, because we have a sources. So we have a sources here, and we call real query. We want to invalidate that query, and the query that we will invalidate will be post, as we say right here. So when we push the like button, this will invalidate the query, and we will have the new post because React query will do to refetch, you know. So now we can try this one, and the idea is when we do this like button, we want to refresh this data, and this works very smooth, you know. As you can see, that was very easy because we are query, and this is refreshed very fast the data, sorry, and don't do any refresh, you know, or re-render, sorry, from React and Next. And that is very cool, you know. We want to unlike this post, we click again, we have 0 right here, and we see just real time, you know. It's like a real time update, and this is very awesome, you know, because we don't have to scroll to something like some people can do this sync, you know. The most common way is this one, that is okay, let's go do a story push to the home, so this will fetch all the data because we have a fetch in the home, and this will bring all the new data. But in this case, we can use query. Yeah, sorry for it, the repetition. And that is very. Wait a second. Ring his bell. Ready? So we just made this very well. I will give you right here the link to this data, real query invalidate, so you can read and understand the ways that you can refetch all the data, invalidate, and we have different way to do that, and it is very good to do that, you know. So we have this, we are done this thing, and we just made it. It's very awesome, you know. And now we can mark this ticket like done, you know, because we did it. So let's go, just push our change, you know. Let's go to the folder, git add the point, we have git status to try to see what we have here, or we can see in this way, and we have just 3 lines in this commit. That is very exciting because we did it so easy. And now we have a git commit fit query. Query invalidate. Yes. When user push like button, well, and we can check if we don't have any TypeScript error with ASCII, and we don't have any error. Perfect. So we can push here right now. Perfect. Have this one, and now yes, we don't have any more change here. know why we have this. I think this is a bug, because we have some kind of bug. Oh no, it's not a bug. I don't know. Oh, sometimes we don't have this change it at points, but yeah, now yes. Thank you, Juaco, for that follow. How are you? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We are doing an English stream today, but we usually do a Spanish stream on Monday. So now we have, yes, we pushed that things very well, but let's go begin this one. Let's go from here. We can move this to done. Perfect. Let's more. This one. I think I have you in LinkedIn. What a casualty. Perfect. Yes, I am Martin Acosta in LinkedIn. So yes, I have so much content there. Very crazy that I'm here too, no? So what is happening right here? We have a problem right here, because when we click the first time in the post, we want like this, and we click this, we have that me gusta message, but if we click again to undo this like, we still see the like button, and we can show here a dislike button, and now we can change the message, because when we click here, we don't want to see the me gusta message. We want to see I don't know, maybe we don't want to see any message, so I don't know, I have to speak English, sorry. Don't worry, the idea is to practice. If you want to speak in English or something, you can use Google Translate, or if you know how to write something, you can just talk in Spanish and I will use translate for you. That is a good practice for me, because I want to try to think and talk just in English, to practice my English. So it's good for me if any way that you can talk. Don't worry about it. So maybe we can remove this toast, remove this toast, and we can see like, it's very well. I think we can do this logic. I think this is great, but after that we want to do some data with this one, because we don't want this. I'm thinking the way that we can do this thing, because like we need to do some kind of condition in the backend, so we can try to do something like post user like it, in this way. So if the user like it, we will see this icon, but if the user doesn't like it, we will see another property, that is the idea that we can do for the thing. Welcome. What are you using for the styles? Hi Jorgito, how are you? Welcome to the stream. For the style we are using ChakraUI. ChakraUI is component library, and this bring you some components like box, and in this box you can use props from this library, the ChakraUI. So as you can see here, we are using a box, and in this box we are using the props display and use flex, or in this way you can use an icon button, and we have an icon, we have an audio label, variant and size, and margin right. That is we can write this way, MR or margin right. And this is very cool, because you don't need to think about to create another file, but that is the whole discussion about what you can use. You can use ChakraUI, Tailwind, or pure CSS, but this is, I think, seems like it's using MUI. Yeah, it's something like that. You can use every you want, pure CSS or MUI or Tailwind or Chakra. My brain is bugged all in English. sorry for that. The idea is to practice this in English, but I think you can understand just the idea, no? How did you pass prop to Chakra component? Just this way, You just write in this thing, and you can do something like that, You have a component, and this component flex is just rendered a div, Chakra say, okay, you can use the flex component, but this will be rendered as a div with display flex, and so you don't need to write something like this, Here we can use we can refactor this. Check this out, flex, and we can remove this display flex. Why? Because flex is display flex by default, and center. What we do here, flex right here, and now we have the same result, So ChakraUI have a lot of different components, as you can see in documentation right here. You can go to this way to components. You have a lot of components, and that's it very well because you have something like alert dialogues, and you can click here and you have an alert dialogue. You have a very good customization about it, and you can write also different kind of custom styles in every component, but by default this is very good because we have a very common component that you use usually, like secret progress and everything. So do a fast deploy, fast coding, trying to don't think into write component from zero, so you can use this component. They have a lot of default components. But yeah, I use Chakra. Thank you, Joaco, for that translation. So I hope you understand the idea of ChakraUI. So you can check this page, and you can see all the components that ChakraUI bring to you. This is very good. So, what is the idea about this? So we're trying to know if the user like this, because we did here with this like, when we do like, we want to show another icon here, and so I think we need to change the backend right here. We can do a new terminal, and this here we can go to the backend, and in the backend we can go to code dot to open the our Visual Studio. Right here we have our controller, you know. This controller is in charge of bring us all the posts from database, of retrieve all the posts from database. So we have some logic here for get the likes of that post, but we need to know if the users like that post too, you know. So we can create here some new prop. Nice, thank you for the explanation. No, thank you for asking, Vito. I'm sorry if I don't have a very good English. I'm practicing. I'm sorry if I don't speak very well, you know. I'm trying to better my English, so that is the idea. Do English stream on Wednesday. I think we can do here, you know. I'm thinking because let's go see the table, you know. We have a table here, MySQL table, and we have a likes, you know. So in this case, this user, as you can see, we have 3 likes in different posts, the 4.1, the 10.1, and the 11.1 in post ID, and the same user like this post, you know. So this user like this post, this user like this post, and this post. But we need to know if that user like this button, this one, to show the unlike button. So I'm thinking that we count here the post ID, but I think we need to retrieve I'm thinking we need to retrieve all the users ID, you know, because we need to know if that user like that. I don't know how we can do this. You can give me an idea if you want. If the like is included in the like list, just remove it. I'm thinking with you. Oh, thank you, Paco. That's the idea. You can share with me any message. We will try to do this. This like list likes is just a count, you know. The idea of the count is count to this likes table. And okay, I will count to this post, the number 4, for example. I will check how many records are in this table for the post ID 4. So how many records we have in this likes table? We have just 1. So that is the likes quantity, you know. It's not all the data. So we don't have 4, and we don't have user ID, we don't have it created and updated, and we don't have the ID. Just we have the total number of like of that post. So we need to find a way to know if that user the user logged in this case it does that ID like this post and this post and this post. So in this case, yes, this uses like all the posts. So we don't want to show this button. We need to show the unlike button. Oh, perfect. It's playing good, I think. So I don't know which is the best practice, you know. Way to know if user like post, I think we can Google it and try to understand how the people think about it. Hi Kufa, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We are doing an English stream, but we are free to write in Spanish if you don't know how to write in English. Don't worry about it, but welcome. We're practicing today English. So we have something like this, you know? Have like it, user right, like it. You user here don't want to see double post, okay? I understand, one, yeah. But we have something like this. Okay, we need to do something like inner join, you know? But user ID. Yeah. I think we need to add the user ID to our query, you know? Both user ID, yeah. Like it's no 0. Count like where user ID equal to, yeah. Like this post. We need to do that query too, I think, you know. No. Thank you, Hugo, for translate everyone. We are practicing too. Very well. So I think that is the idea though. We need just pass by parameter the user ID so we can check is that user vote or not. I think we need to do that. Ring spelling coming. Wait a second.
parler d'eux, t'as vu mes parents, t'as vu mes paroles. Moi et mon frère étions heureux, si tellement heureux. Un jour le feu a pris nos hommes, parce que d'autres m'ont décidé. Les gringos se tapent dans la cave, on sacrifie des destinées. Un jour le feu a pris nos hommes, parce que d'autres m'ont décidé. Les gringos se tapent dans la cave, on sacrifie des destinées. La cocaïne,
Sorry. Perfect. Don't worry, I understand. Yeah, okay, you can write in English if you want. So you think about it? What do you think this is a better idea to do this work? I think we don't have any other chance, because the problem is every user will send the user ID, no? So user like it, and when user like it, you will see user like it, and we have something here like user like it equal to a weight, and let's go search to count, and count or count, no, and just find one, find one. No, I think we can use something like this one, yeah, item, and so do some this logic, as you can see here, we have an weight. So yeah, we can just replace this one. We can equal to weight likes. Let's go find one with that user ID and this post ID, and if this work, that will say okay, we have a user like, so we found it. So so we know now if the user if the user like that post. No? Right, I think it's a very good logic. I don't know, how do you think? So user like it, wait, like one, user post. Perfect. So we need to bring here the user ID, no? So here have this one. We need to have this here. Const user ID will be equal to request query user ID, and find all. We have this find all. Polish, okay. Find all, perfect. Have this one, and after that we have this change. I think this will work very well. And okay, we can see the answer right here, because we have here an error right here, and that is because I think, let me check this one, resource right here. We can check this, and we have a web parameter user ID has invalid undefined value, yes, and that is because we don't have any check of this value, user ID, and we need to do some validation, like if user ID, do that, but if you don't have any user ID, just write false, You can check right here if we have a user ID as parameter, So let's go do it this way. Let's go do it this way. Perfect. Let's go refresh our page now. Let's go check, and we have the data right here. And if we would see this data from the backend, we have the users like it false. We have set it by default like false. Now we're trying to do that like group by on you. Not group by, because you can think that in this this database, we can think in the case that we have 10 likes, you know? Imagine that we have 10 likes. If we have 10 likes in this table, we will have 10 different users, you know? Because a user can repeat a like. So we can retrieve all the data, you know? We can retrieve that 10 likes, and we have 10 records, and we can find that record, you know? We can use a find method and say, okay, from the frontend, you know? From the frontend, okay, this user in all this data in this data from the likes table is here. Yes, is here. Well, that means that the user like it, you know. And in the case we have just one record on this post ID, no problem. And if we have 10 record of the post ID 4, that no problem, you know, because we can find very quickly. But imagine that you have a post with 50 likes, you know, we will have 50 record of these likes, and if we return all this data to the frontend, will be slow. And if we find inside all this one, okay, let's go check for everyone, for every record, if this user ID like this post, this will be very slow. So the idea is go straightly or in a very a very direct way, you know, that you say, okay, I will check, I have the user ID and I have the post ID, and this user, suppose user ID 1, this user ID 1 liked the post 1, yes, that means that this user liked that post. So we use user liked, yes, this post 1. And in every post, we will check again. User 2, user 1 voted the post ID 2, no, so this will be false. In every post, this will be changed, so you can check if the user 1 post like it. I don't know if this is very a better way, but we are not trying to do a grouping by, you know, we want to group in this user. We want just know if the user like it or not like it, that post. So if we find a post, we find a record in the like table with this parameter where user ID was 1 and post ID is 1, so that means the user liked that post. So after put this logic, now we need to try to pass the this logic right here from the use query here, use query, this one, we have the index page, what in this case we have this one, and in this one we have the user, we don't have the user right here, so we need to bring the user right here and use user import from Haciendo right here, no, and we have our user, and our user, this way, in camel case, and this one is called Namil, okay, so we don't want this, we have something like this. This one user, this one, and we have this one user, Okay, floating. Will be very bad this thing. And yes, we can this one, this one. We can remove this one. No accurate. Okay. Yes, we can remove this one now. And user we will use right here because we have a new parameter that we say user ID will be equal to sorry, no this way, because user ID will be equal to check this one. We have this function. Okay, null here, I think. And we use right here user. Okay. Hey Una, how are you? How's it going? Welcome to the English stream today. We're trying to make this logic works. So let's go refresh and let's go see what's happening right now. Okay, we'll refresh this one and as you can see we have a user ID null. Okay, have a problem here. No. Okay. Let me think about it. Okay. I think this fetch we need to do this inside the use effect. I think. But if you say inside use effect, we don't have this body right here. Okay, let me check. We need to use React query wait for data. I think we have something in React query that we can say, okay, React query, wait until this data comes. This is no. Post active post. Okay. Because I think we have we can just check this one. If we do here a console log of user ID, we'll refresh our page, you will see that we don't have in the first instance we don't have the user ID, you know, because this is null the first time, and after that just bring our user ID. So we need to wait the user ID. Pretty basic, is it? Hi Kala, how are you? I am listening this list from here. I just open it and like call it did house. It doesn't know that it says did house. So React query, wait for variable segment, you know, something like this. And we have here our function enable this, you know, this is conditions. I think condition is the key for enable. Okay, I think I understand. We need to do something like the data. After that, we have to do like something like this, and that is mean, okay, in user ID, different node, that's mean, okay, let's go enable this fetch just when user ID is not null, let's go retry this, retry, and let's go check if the our okay. Now, as you can see in the payroll tab, we have page 2 and user ID, this one, so the fetch doesn't execute until we have a user ID. So now we have the user ID, we retrieve the data, and we have a problem here because we don't want to retrieve this one. We have to retrieve something else, let me check in the backend. We have here we need just check if we find one. Serialize, check if record exists, that is mean, let's go check. See if in that way we can do find one, then okay, token is unique, count, then it's doing just a then. Okay. So I can try to check for this one, then count, okay, or we can do a check count, okay, that is good, I think. Or we will replace this one with a in this case we'll do this, let's go try to count this, and let's count, let me copy the word, we'll try to copy this one, and we will copy right here. After that we will replace all this. Let's go check right now. Okay, we will count this. If we can count, we have more than one record. It means that we found a record, so it's true. If not, it will be false, and okay, if we have user, you will this. If not, we will put false as well. So let's go refresh this one, and now if we check this endpoint, we need to see user like it true. Okay, we did it. I don't know if this is the best way, but this worked. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, find one, return that option. Yeah, thank you, Jaco. You may have to use some code or something like that to take out what you're using. Okay, thank you, Jaco. That is the idea. We can use a count, or we can just return an offset and ask, okay, we have an offset, we have just a length, if the length is, we have a length, it means that we have a record, so we can check for the length, or in our case, we can use a count, and that means, okay, count is the number of records, so if the number of records is greater than that 0, this means it's true, if not, it's false. Perfect. Now we did it in the backend very well. I'm very proud of us because we did it. So, and in this post item we can do this logic right now, user like it, because we now see this way we can remove this, and after that we can check this one. Okay, property doesn't like in post, I will add it to the post, and this means this will be boolean because it's true or false. So now we have the user like it. Perfect. If the user like it, show this like. If not, use this one. So that me gusta. We can say it this way, and we check icon button ChakraUI. Let's go check this way, and I will try to rotate this one because we want to show something like this like button, you know, and rotate or transform. We don't have any of that. Front variant is disabled, sliding. We don't have any of that. So we can use React icons and React icons unlike. Sorry. Ready. This like. Okay, I don't write it very well. Okay, we have a dislike button right here, and I think what kind of like we are using here. We're using the B1, so we can search B1 dislike. Perfect. And now here we can like it. Okay, we have dislike right here, and B we have a like and dislike button, so we can come here and we see right now the unlike button. But if we did a like, perfect. Woo! We did it. It's in the ternary in the line 66. Because we turned the line 66. You mean of this or on over backend 66. Okay, the problem with that is because here we are, if we don't have any user, we don't return this, you know. We need to return this. We have different ways of do that, you know. We can do it this way, and we can do some logic like this. If we have a return, we can do this way, and we can do like, you know, user like. We can remove this, and we can make something like this. We can do a let user like it equal to false, so by default it's false. But if we have a user, let's go check if the user has liked the post. If yes, true. If not, false. You know, that is the idea. The two ways is, I think, is correct. Maybe this way is more understandable. You know. What you do real front? I learned the front by myself because I didn't do any career, you know. I just write code in too many languages because I'm coding about more than 10 years. So I write code in C# and Angular, some of Angular with Ionic Angular, Visual Fox Pro or Windows applications, and different kind of thing, you know. I mean, you don't need to retrieve user ID because you return false. That is the same that when you have zero like for user ID. You mean for user ID and this one? Yes, but we need to check this one because we have a check right here, and if we do come to 0, we can do something like this to say this way, you know. Then count, but if we will check this one, let's go try this one this way, and you did this way, you know. Okay, just return like this. Now do this logic. Remove the if2, But the problem is we'll remove this if sometimes we don't have a user, you know. In this case, now we are sending the user ID, but what happened if we unlock from here? We come right here, and as you can see, we have a problem right now. That is because we have an authorization, okay, and that is because we need to change our logic. In the case that the user is not logged in, we want to show the likes buttons and the likes, but this way we will check. Okay, do that only if you have a user ID. Okay, we need to that checked because not always we will send it a user ID, you know. We can do a early return, you know, because we need it at the user ID. So if you don't do this check, this will do okay. User ID 2 points undefined because we don't have any user ID. So this will broke all our application. So if we do this way, okay, let's go check if the user ID exists, and the user ID exists. So do all this logic. If not exist, if the user is undefined, nude, or something else, okay, don't do nothing, just left user like it to false, and we can do this way. Today I come early, Albert. Oh, thank you, Albert. How are you? Do you touch English or Spanish? English. Yeah, I seem like I talking in Spanish. Why we didn't have the idea that like. Yeah, but we need to check the user ID, you know, and we need to find a way to do this user login. We need to okay, this user like this post. No, in this case doesn't like this post, so we show the like button. So now this user like this post, yes, because exists a post here. This we count a like, and we checked in the database, so we see here sorry, in this case we will see a record here. So yes, this user with the any ID like this post, so we show this user 1, and if we like this button, we have this refresh, you know, and this is the result. It's user like it false, and user like it false because the user doesn't like this post. But in the last record, the backend returned user like true, because this user yes bought this post, you know. Understand? I think that there's undefined and false. Oh yeah, but if you try to do a word with undefined, let's go check this one. Let's go check undefined. Return, you will see here an error, you know. That is because word parameter user ID has invalid undefined value. We can do a word with undefined value. I think null either. So if we shuffle here, null, yes, we can do this one, but we need to define null in this case, you know. But I think the better way is to always try to check if the data exists, and if not, you can do this, or you can do something like like return you don't have any user, something like this, you know. That is the idea to check the import value and the value required, you know, to our required value. So I think we did it people. we did it together. I like it. This new feature. You have like, you have dislike, and this work very well. You know, very funny. But well, it was very satisfying because we did it together. So I can hear we have an on click. Hi Faku, how are you? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. I did Maria Becerra name. Okay, yes, Maria Becerra lost the ID, so we have some very good data here. He's from Ray Bell, I think. Documentation of my grandmother, and we have a repeated post right here. Why do you talk in English? That is because we are practicing English, you know, and the English is very good, and I want to learn English. So if you want to learn some English, you can listen, or you can try to talk in English, understand, or just write in Spanish, and I will translate. Okay, so now we can close this. After that, perfect. We have show this like button, and we did this project. So now we can remove our console logs. We can check here. Let's go console. Here, we can remove this one, and after that we can come here and let's go check if we don't have any console log right here. Yeah, but it's okay because it's initial message. So in this backend, let's go git add dot and git status, perfect post controller, and git commit m fit add user liked property post in post response. Perfect, something like that. Now git push this backend, and we can go here to the front end. We can do a git status. This file, okay, git add dot. Let's go check if this work. Perfect, and git commit git add like and dislike logic in post video. Perfect, work very well. And let's go see if we don't have any TypeScript error. Perfect, we don't have any TypeScript error. And after that, git push, and we are done, people. We do it. So we can move this to the done section. You know, I'm proud for this project. Very good. Okay, people. What was this? Cafecito. Oops. I can put your cafecito. I don't understand something. Oh, Albert. The problem with cafecito, this you can donate cafecito in two ways. One is with a platform called Mercado Pago, and that is from Latin America. So because you are from Europe, you can use that app today. And the other way is using Bitcoin, using something like Lightning, that is, I don't know if you have Bitcoin, but don't worry. Thank you for trying to donate me. You know that I do this for fun and try to help you and trying to learn together. That is the idea. I don't charge anything, and you passing by every stream right here, and that helped me a lot. So thank you, Albert, for being here every stream. So people, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure for me being here, doing another English stream. I think we talk a lot in English and we learn something. As I always say, it was very fun for me and very productive. Talk in English, think in English, write in English, and everything. The practice is the key, because if we practice every day something like a new language, coding, or new language, talking or speaking or writing, we can learn more fast than just read the theory. So was very good for me, for us. I'm happy to see. Don't worry, Albert. Thank you very much. Anyway, see you and nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Paco. Thank you for being here. I got stuck in Bing yesterday. How to unplug the PC to the studio. Oh, sorry about that. But I think you can exit Beam pressing Escape or pressing E, and after that you need to write 2 points Q and A to Q and I don't know, remember? And when you click enter, you will exit the Beam. Well, welcome. Or yes, like Albert said, that is the very word to exit Beam, 2 points Q and exclamation point. So people, thank you very much to be here. It was a pleasure for me. I hope you enjoyed that stream. You can follow me on Twitter, and I will post there every time I will do a stream. So nice to be here. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next time. Goodbye. Have a nice week.
Generalmente, les comento, esto...